In 1998, two college kids built a search engine in a garage and offered to sell the whole thing to Yahoo for about $1 million. Yahoo said no. 10 years later, the roles flipped. Microsoft offered to buy Yahoo itself for $44.6 billion. Yahoo said no to that too. Today, that search engine, Google, is worth over $2 trillion. Yahoo was sold off for pieces of what Microsoft once offered. Same company, two rejections, a decade apart, and the real mistake isn't the one you're thinking of. Yahoo began in 1994 as a hobby. Two Stanford PhD students, Jerry Yang and David Philo, were building a hand-picked list of their favorite websites, run out of a trailer on campus, at a time when the internet barely had a front door. They called it Yahoo, officially standing for yet another hierarchically organized oracle. Though the founders admitted they mostly just liked the word. It worked. By 1995, the list had grown into a company. By 1996, Yahoo went public, and the stock more than doubled on its first day of trading. Through the late 1990s, Yahoo stopped being just a directory and became the internet itself for millions of people. Search, email, news, sports scores, stock tickers, chat rooms, all under one roof. Investors loved the model. The longer you stayed on Yahoo's pages, the more ads it could sell you. By the year 2000, at the peak of the dot-com boom, Yahoo was valued at over $125 billion. For a brief moment, it was the most visited website on the planet and one of the most valuable companies in America. Worth more than General Motors, more than Ford. Here's where the first rejection comes in. And it needs a small caveat, because the story has been retold so many times that the details blur. As it's usually told, in 1998, two other Stanford students, Larry Page and Sergey Brin, walked into a meeting with a search engine they'd built in a dorm room called Google and offered to sell the whole company for around $1 million. Some versions of this story place that exact meeting at a Yahoo rival, Excite, instead. The deal did happen, almost exactly like this, just possibly with a different logo on the door. Either way, the underlying fact is not in dispute. The search industry, Yahoo included, had chances to buy the technology that would define the next 20 years of the internet for the price of a house. They passed, and it wasn't just an oversight. Yahoo's own business model depended on keeping visitors on Yahoo's pages as long as possible, clicking through portals and ads. Google's entire premise was the opposite. Give you the answer in half a second and get you off the page. To Yahoo's leadership at the time, that looked less like the future and more like a tool that would send their own users away. 10 years later, the roles reversed completely. By early 2008, the company Yahoo had underestimated was now worth more than Yahoo itself, and Yahoo's core business, display advertising, was stagnant, its search market share shrinking every quarter against Google. In January 2008, Microsoft made an unsolicited offer to buy Yahoo outright. $44.6 billion in cash and stock, a 48% premium over where Yahoo's stock was trading. For a company that had already missed Google once, this looked on paper like a second chance. A way out on very good terms. Yahoo's board, led by co-founder and CEO Jerry Yang, rejected the offer, arguing it undervalued the company. Microsoft came back with a higher bid. Yahoo rejected that one too, and pushed publicly for a price closer to $40 billion for just the search part of the business. Microsoft, unwilling to keep raising an offer that kept getting turned down, walked away in May 2008. Weeks later, activist investor Carl Icahn launched a proxy fight against Yahoo's board, accusing Yang of destroying shareholder value to protect his own position. By November, Yang had stepped down as CEO. Yahoo's stock, which had briefly traded close to Microsoft's offer price during the negotiation, spent the next several years never coming near it again. Here's what most retellings of this story get wrong. It wasn't really about the money in either deal, and it wasn't really about timing. It was about what Yahoo actually was. Yahoo never decided whether it was a search company, a media company, or a technology company. So it tried to be all three at once, forever. Its homepage crammed together news headlines, horoscopes, stock tickers, and search results, all competing for the same 6 inches of screen. Meanwhile, Google was doing exactly one thing: search, and doing it better than anyone else on Earth. Over the following decade, that lack of identity showed up at the top of the company. Yahoo cycled through chief executives at a pace that became a running joke in Silicon Valley. Carol Bartz, brought in to cut costs. Scott Thompson, gone within months over a resume scandal. Marissa Mayer, hired in 2012 with enormous fanfare, promising a turnaround that never fully arrived. 4 permanent CEOs in 6 years, each arriving with a different strategy, none given enough time, or enough internal alignment to actually see it through. A company that can't decide what it is can't say yes or no to anything with real conviction. It can only stall, and call the stalling strategy. By 2016, the math had become impossible to spin. Yahoo agreed to sell its core internet business, the search engine, the email, the homepage, all of it, to telecom giant Verizon for $4.83 billion. That's roughly a tenth of what Microsoft had offered 8 years earlier, for a business that, by most measures, was worth less every year it waited. The famous purple homepage was folded into a new Verizon division called Oath, alongside another fallen internet giant, AOL. It didn't stay there long. In 2021, Verizon sold that same combined business again, this time to a private equity firm, Apollo Global Management, for about $5 billion total, AOL included. The company that once turned down the idea of owning Google and a decade later turned down $44.6 billion from Microsoft, ended its run being sold, twice, for less than either number, to buyers most of its original users had never heard of. So what actually killed Yahoo? It wasn't missing Google. Plenty of companies miss the next big thing once and survive. It wasn't even rejecting Microsoft. Sometimes holding out for a better price actually is the right call. The real mistake was never fixing the thing underneath both decisions. A company with no clear identity, run by a revolving door of leadership, none of whom stayed long enough to commit to one direction and see if it worked. Google won by obsessively doing one thing. Yahoo lost by refusing to choose anything at all. The companies that survive disruption aren't always the ones with the sharpest instincts. They're the ones who actually know what they are and are willing to bet everything on it.